So yeah, this is not a tarot reading. This is really basically like a check. Like, get ready with me. So if you would like to go ahead and tune into that, go ahead and stay tuned. This is probably after the live has been finished. We're about to get into some things if you could not tell by the title, honey. Let's see. Now, I'm gonna go ahead and start off by saying it's been a lot going on with me and in the entire world, honey. So I wanted to be the one to talk about it because it seems as y'all faves, y'all celebrities, the people that y'all pick as the representation are the ones who are turning on you. Because sometimes it be your own people. So yeah, we are going to be doing our lashes. We're going to be getting ready. We're going to be doing our skincare. We're going to be doing our face. We're going to be doing our hair. We're going to be getting ready. Doing the things that we need to do for the day. Because honestly, I've been wanting to get on live, and I've been like pulling cards, and I've been like, like, okay, pull some cards, do this, do that, right? And for some reason, every time I pull it from a deck, for some odd reason, put this out. For some odd reason, let me go get the other one too. And the store ain't open, so I don't have anything to wrap my shit in. So if y'all judging me after fuck you and everything you stand for, you big toe up. Just give me 1 second, you guys. I gotta go back and get my reps and my things. So I think I'm gonna be in here for a minute. I am currently doing my lashes. If y'all couldn't tell, I'm doing the bottom. I've done, I think, the bottom. But that one needs to have another one. Hmm. Anyway, yeah. So we'll see what's going on. We'll see what the tea is. Well, I'm gonna give you the tea. Y'all gonna see what the tea is. I'm giving you the tea. So, this one first. You saw this thing. Um, so you guys, I really have been wanting to get online because of the simple fact of the news and what has been going on in retaliation to me being myself. Second, and if you don't understand right now, you understand. You're gonna understand by the end of this video. Hold on 1 second. Oh, so- Okay, so I don't know if there's anybody in here. I don't think it is, so I'm cool right now. Hmm, should be. Anyway, so I've been really reluctant on talking about this for because I don't know what's going on because I haven't been up here in a minute. So I haven't really even been getting into the tarot streets and getting into the things of the things. Because I've been working or I was working. Excuse me. Did I get that shit? But now I realize there's certain things that I have to let go. Not even just let go, more so just understand to evolve. So for me, I've been sending. They have hacked my phone. They have hacked my phones, or my phone, one of them. They're hacking my social media accounts. And I do mean there as in the Triangle Clan, the Illuminati, the Freemasons, the Crusaders, the Templars, if you will. And it is because I have been fighting a battle alone and they don't know how to stop me. And that battle is understanding that we were in a spiritual war before we were in a spiritual war. Um, I just want to start off by saying to all my spiritual community, to my spiritual community, that we're going to get through it. We've gotten through worse, and we're going to get to better. But I think that in this current time, there has been a lot of negative energy spewing around, or a lot of negative rumors that have been coming around, getting whatever the case may be. Who was that? Oh no. There has been a lot of changes that have been trying to commence over the simple fact of inferiority masking as superiority through ego. Um, It's very interesting that we as a collective have ran away, and I am talking to the Black community, nobody else. I'm talking to the Black community, the LGBTQ plus community, IA plus community, and the tarot community, right? It is very, very apparent that a lot of the things that has been commencing is fear tactics, fear mongering, and strategies to bring down our established connections and our collective. So, it's very interesting that me as a individual have been using my voice for the masses and for the people. And y'all faves or people's faves, I'm not gonna say y'all faves, but people's faves have said nothing. None of, and if you look over the course of the past 6 months, it has been people coming out. I know it's been celebrities here and there that have been generally speaking up against either what they've been going through or what they feel like is right. Because now I've realized that, because if you couldn't tell by the title, the music industry is collapsing as we speak. So now you see a lot of the real people coming out and speaking up for their rights and what is just, because justice is now commencing, justice is now preparing to be served for the collective. And it seems that that's why I use Kelly Price, because Kelly Price and I too have went through a lot of the similar things that she spoke on. If y'all go check it out, I might put that in the comments later, where people were doing witchcraft on her. People was trying to tarnish her using handlers, using puppets, using pawns, using all of the tactics that the music industry, the entertainment business does to keep the Black collective, not the Caucasians, the Black collective, uh, less fortunate than their competitors, which would be considered Caucasians, or not even Caucasians, people that industry plants, people that are put in place, i.e. Tyler, that are put in place to cause confusion, but create a niche of people that they can marketize off of. And I think right now it's getting to a point where things need to be said and things need to be heard. And it's not really at a point of, and I said this earlier when I woke up, because if y'all know me, y'all know when I get to this point, I'm not really at a point of return. So if I'm at this point, I don't, it's not really much that I could do but speak my truth. This is my story time. This is me speaking my truth, right? So, it's very apparent that the things that a lot of my collective has gone through, a lot of the celebrities that have not sold out or sold their souls or have become clones or reptilians have now realized that it's either you're either in or you're out, right? And a lot of these people have been in the industries, and not just the music, it's the entertainment in general. That's why SAFTA was a thing last year because the people of the entertainment business are realizing that their puppeteers are really treating them like puppets. And they did not know they were being puppets until they woke up out of whatever trance that they were in with whatever drugs that they tried to put in their system to control them, MK Ultra, all of the things, girl. And it's really interesting to see the media outlets, the news broadcasting companies not showcase the necessary coverage of the news of what's going on, the breaking what people are considering their breaking point, what's going on in Gaza, what's going on in I heard Cuba, what's going on in Congo, what's going on in Sudan, all of these countries that, because really, I just seen a video that just said that nobody lives in Gaza anymore. Gaza is just like a wild, the wild, wild west is deserted. It's deserted. It's nothing there because they have done a genocide. They have annihilated the people of the 2000s and just like they did in World War II. So we have now seen as a collective, for the first time since World War II, a major global attack on human rights, a global attack on justice and equality and fairness. Because if you also look, as people as women in Korea, it's women in India that are all going through things of asking for liberty and asking for liberation. And I think we are at a time, and I'm telling you, this is not just going to be about me because I realize that this situation is not about me anymore. It's literally about the survival of mankind, but also the survival of Black people who were already ostracized and didn't see what it is. And I said this in a song, what it is past what they know, because they were we as a collective, not just y'all. It's not a y'all thing, it's a we thing. We as a collective were trained in a certain way so that we could not see what the general picture is. And I think that now that the veil is no longer available, the veil, the cloaking of the truth is basically what that is no longer nothing is no longer being hidden. Nothing is no longer being perceived as real or fake. We all are looking at this as a reality and we don't want to believe it, but we know that this shit isn't made up. So it's very, I don't know, just and honestly, I've been going through a lot. That's why one of the reasons why I haven't been on live, because like I said, people have been doing magical, and I'm a medium. I am a psychic. I am a tarot reader. I can do a lot more than that, but I'm just naming the basics. I can tell them somebody's doing magic on me. I can tell when somebody's trying to stop my motivation. I can tell when somebody's trying to come into my dreams and deprive me of my beauty sleep. So, and they could be watching. I don't know. But as for those people, Judgment Day is coming, and it's right around the corner actually. So for y'all to not only attack me, because I was saying this, if y'all peeped when I was live doing tarot readings, I was telling my people like, hey, I don't even want to get up here really right now because it seems like people are doing magic on me. People doing magic on you, and it's getting to me. So I'm going to need to take a break. Sometimes I had to take breaks because people were doing magic on me so that I couldn't give the story out to my collective. I couldn't give the story out to the people. And people will assume anything. I heard one time somebody said that I was a karmic tarot reader. It's plenty of people like that out there. What is wrong with like that's just like saying to a gay person you're gay. What is wrong with being gay? Why do we as a collective try to feel like that because we are minuscule to the plot, minuscule to the plan, that we have to bash somebody else to make ourselves feel better. I never understood that. That's why when people are going down and going in like a rut, I make sure to stay out the way and mind my business with that particular person, usually. Because it's as if beat on them day. It's usually like jump them day. And I'm not a bitch that jumps on a bandwagon. I'm not a bitch that makes people feel like, oh yeah, you're just like no. I'm a bitch that's gonna stand on what I stand on because based off of the way you moved or move. So I'm at a point, right? And Lord forgive me, where I don't feel that what's going on in the industries that is being publicized with the news outlets is what we should be focusing on. We should actually be calling the broadcasting companies the news broad because they all are run by the same companies. It's not that hard to find out. And demand that they not only hire new anchors, because mind you, it was a whole spree of not only firing people that were frontline workers, except for police officers and fire workers and METs, laying off UPS workers, USPS workers, Amazon workers, flex work, all of the things, girl. And it's quite like they were, and I was saying this when I was in my room because like I said, I was gathering my thoughts before I got up here, right? Um, that what the government basically has done is gathered all the Republicans, right? They've gathered all the Republicans to be the mass majority to showcase unity or unison amongst the black community, amongst the United States, to showcase that they are strong and they're working together to the rest of the world, that they're strong and working together for the greater good of the United States people, right? And so now that all of the Republicans, y'all see that you now understand who the lobbyists are and what lobbyists are in what celebrities' pockets. You start to see that because of the way that the Senate has turned, you now see a generous amount of not only just Republicans, but of Black Republicans. And I don't know if they have this I don't know. I'm hearing deceived or disheaved. That's what I want. DISHEAVED. Um, the black community into thinking that just like they do the Grammys, just like they do the Oscars, just like they do the Tonys, that the being a Republican is prestigious and being a celebrity and being a Republican is also very prestigious. So you will want that for the elevation of your legacy. You will want that for the elevation. And in reality, they're just using their names like they've been doing for the past 40, 50 years to stop the plot of elevating the Black community. So, and really, honestly, it really came around right when, and I hate to be the one to bring this into the topic because I didn't even want to say this, but it really happened right around when Vaughn died. It happened right around 2020. And I also said this that that's right around the same time that a lot of the real niggas died. A lot of the real niggas either got put in jail for no apparent reason, simple charges. Mind you, Carmelo Anthony, shout out to him, and may he get free immediately because he did no wrong but defend himself. And right around COVID, right around COVID, it was right around that time that the government not only implemented a disease like they are just doing now, catch it, they do it right around midterms or presidential elections, where they try to do this clearinghouse where they let all of this shit get and build up at the end of every fucking term. And then they start clearing it out at the end of midterms or at the beginning of a new term. And that hasn't been working for the past 250 years. I don't know why the fuck they're still doing it. Because that's not what started the United States. Um, Mind you, Louisiana, think about the Louisiana Purchase. That wasn't just a state move. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm starting to think that that was run by the Black folks and the Black Native Americans, because that is actually a thing. That's why NOLA is really apparent and thriving, regardless if it's one of the poorest countries in the world. I mean, one of the poorest states in the United States. They use all of their energy, just like they do the rest of the Black collective in the United States. Use all of their magic, use all of their energy, and don't return them for nothing, pennies, so that they can thrive. And that's funny because guess who got into a beef right before Bond died? NBA. And what they also do is if you don't abide or if you do abide, they give you a lot of money, then they put you in jail. If you don't abide, you either die and they put a life insurance policy out on you before and then they kill your ass. Or, and I'm not saying allegedly, or or they put you in jail and make you conform to what they're doing in this agenda that they're trying to push in order to get them to where they need to go. Don't mind me. I couldn't find another rap, so leave me alone. I think I actually got one on in the anyway. So, how do I say this? When I was, I'm gonna say about 18, my life started to completely change. And that was right around 2020. because I turned 18. Yeah, that was 2020. If you think back on all of the rappers that have passed away, right, not that much evidence to be heard. And a lot of them, i.e. Pop Smoke just now, his what I would say criminal, his murderer just got his time, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it is a system that is meant to halt and elongate the justice based off of prejudice. So I, at a young age, was a person, as we all wanted, was not to necessarily be famous or to be a star or to be known, but I did want to be a celebrity at one point in time. I was young. It was what was idolized at the time. I'm not that old. Um, so when the things occurred of the things, I knew my life was going to change. I knew my life was going to be different. I didn't know how, I didn't know why, but I knew God was in my life. So when I went and started to be who I am, God was right around graduation. Right when I did that, my whole atmosphere kind of changed because I was more flamboyant and I started showing it by being more feminine and wearing feminine clothes. So it was very like new. It was very different. And when I mean by new, I don't mean like it hasn't been done before. It was just avant-garde for where I lived, with avant-garde for the time, honestly, because we didn't have, it was 2020. We didn't have the resources of knowing what transness is, what queerness is as much as we do now in 2026. So much so to the point where the government is trying to halt us as the trans LGBTQIA community from being ourselves. So, so when push came to shove, I was working during 2020, all of 2020 actually, up until March. Well, that's really in the beginning. For the beginning of 2020, I was working up until March. It's always like this. Up until March, then some bullshit happens, COVID-19. But mind you, I got sick in 2019 at work with COVID-19. Didn't know what it was. My whole family got sick from that shit. Um, well, close family that I can name off the top of the dome, right? And I had already had my life set out for me. No shade. I was getting ready to go to a fully paid scholarship. Life was going good. I had just passed school and all this other stuff. I just passed high school. I'm cool. I got my GED. It was it called Advanced Studies Diploma? Yeah, got that. Not bragging. That's just it's an accomplishment. I'm thankful. I this I told you it's gonna be a long one. I ended up going to a college in my city that I live in. And before I did that, I went on vacation because I needed to regroup. And my brother, shout out to him, was getting back into school. But he was teaching me about learning about self before entering into college because you have to understand self before you can understand your degree that you even want for real. So I did that and I went with him through like most of August, then came back in the middle of to the near end of August and got back into school. Um, I was already kind of separate from the general like dorm mates that I not dorm mates because I didn't have a dorm mate. I didn't have a roommate. I had a dormitory full of people though. It was a freshman dormitory. And I didn't feel like not even that I didn't fit in, but I could tell I was oddball out. And not just because of the LGBT. It was really mainly because I was black. And I didn't have a roommate. And there was a lot of shit going on. Meet that man. And end up one of my brother's aunts was like started talking to me when we were leaving as we were leaving going to the exit. And she was like, and I'm gonna say his name because he really isn't relevant to the story to me. And she was like, the baby's here. I was like, the baby? Like, who's the baby? Mind you, I didn't really keep up with male rappers at the time. Didn't really keep up with him. All I really knew was Little Baby, because not that I grew up on him, but I really liked him as an artist back in the day. Um, Roddy Rich, I listened to him. And it was one more person, but I can't think of him off the top of my head. Um, oh, that's probably the only tune that I like Nicki Minaj. So those people that I really listened to when it came to like rap at the time. Because think about it. Right now it's 2021. Megan Thee Stallion and at this time the baby are beefing. The baby had just got on Rolling Loud and got a gallon of water, two cans of Sprites, and three pairs of Air Force Ones thrown at the back of his motherfucking neck. So um it's very it's a very tumultuous time. And when I met him, I didn't know who he was. Like I knew the songs. I just at the time I had blacked out, so I was just eating. I ready to go home. I just had smoked before we left. It was a couple hours. I was ready to smoke again. No shade. So when she was talking about him, I was like, "What? Who are you talking about? Who are you talking about?" I was like, "The kid. Who's the kid?" Because mind you, at the table, they were just talking about a deadbeat father. So I remember now. They were talking about a deadbeat father, and so when she brought up the baby, I thought that the lady was talking about like an actual a kid, like a child. So I was like, "What you mean? Who's the kid, girl? Who's the child, girl? Who's the kid?" And she was like, "The baby." I was like, "Who's the baby? You mean like who the father?" That's what I was saying. I was like, "Who's the kid? Who's the father? Who's the father?" I was confused. She was like, "No, like the baby." And I was like, "Oh, the baby, like the child, the kid, the fetus." And she was like, "Ooh." And I was like, "Oh." And I saw him. And like I could tell he was tense by me saying that because I'm a loud speaker, especially in person. When I'm around somebody that I'm comfortable with, or like when I figure something the fuck out, I'm very loud with this shit because my voice echoes, it roams. So when he saw me, we all spoke. They all spoke first. I didn't speak because, mind you, it was a whole discrepancy a couple months prior, like in June, July, of the whole Rolling Loud thing. So I, mind you, had a preconceived notion of what this nigga was going to act like because, mind you, I'm from the state, so I know how the niggas down there act. So when I saw him, it was automatically I blacked out because I don't do good with confrontation, and I felt like he was automatically gonna be confrontational. And he was. So my brother said hello. All the people said hello, and I was like, oh. I was like, "What you doing here?" or something like that. I was like, I just said, like, "What you doing here?" Or, not in a bad way, but I'm very blunt and I'm autistic, so it comes off as very harsh and disrespectful, but it's more so like I am trying to um just be honest and open. Not really be friends with him, but be open at the time, right? And he was like, "Yo, you better get the fuck out my face." And I was like, and so I turned around, looked at my brother, and my brother looked at because he was looking at him, the baby, and he started looking at me. And I was like, he must not know that I'm crazy. And I was like, "That's a nice car you got outside." It was a white Lamborghini with red guts, and I told him that. And he started asking me questions like, "How did you know that? What's that about? How you know that?" And he wasn't mad, but he was tense. I could tell. And I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna bother you because you just like I just said, had 2 cans of Sprite, a gallon of water, and 3 pairs of motherfucking Air Force Ones thrown at you, all different shapes, sizes, and colors. Imma let you live your life and eat your food, because quite honestly, I don't have time for that bullshit." And I was like, "I know how you get down, 'cause bitch, you pimp smack the bitch, you pimp smack the bitch and spit on the bitch, no shade, dead. I think tried to hug him and shot up a nigga that came up in his place or in his on his land. And granted, that's not crazy, the second one, but like, hey, I know how you get down, I know how you move." So I was like, "Y'all can greet this nigga, y'all can have fun with him, but I already know how he feel about the LGBTQ plus community, so Imma go ahead and dip." And that's what I did. I went to the car and fucking left. I did it slower than I'm saying because it was real life. But everybody said hey, and nobody seen the car until they left the restaurant. And so when they left, I didn't give a fuck. I was like, "Oh, that's a cute car." Noticed it and went to the car that was driven in. And my brother started pointing to the car and they started having conversations. And they all went back and stayed there and had a conversation for some reason. I'm assuming they were astonished. I don't know. It's none of my business. I sat in that car and said, "You're going to count backwards from 10." And I sunk myself deeper into the car, and I was like, "How the fuck did I even meet this nigga? Like, that doesn't even make sense." But I knew something was off. I knew something was off. I also said something about how he needed to apologize to Megan Thee Stallion, and I think that's what made him mad because I was like, and I at this time I didn't know about Tory. I didn't, mind you, the NBA YoungBoy song or album, joint album was not out at the time. So it was very, very fresh energy, like, very interesting. I might have said more, I don't remember, my memory ain't that good, but I remember most of that just off the top of the dome because I have PTSD from certain situations and my brain just randomly recollects certain shit. No evidence. Well, I had told a story on, like I said, on YouTube, but it's really no evidence for real other than my brother and the family or whatever. So when they got in the car, just mind you, this is like December 17th, excuse me. They were like, "So you said that we were gonna meet him. Do you think we're gonna meet anybody else?" And I was like, I don't know. I feel it in my energy, but I don't know. I don't know who it is. It could be another rapper. It could be him again. I don't know. Just depends. God just works wonders. I don't know. And so we drove to it wasn't a house, it was a student home. So it was like 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, and it was in a college area or college student area. So we all got back into the house, and I don't think they're boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. She could have just had a baby by my brother, but I needed to talk to him anyway. Anyway, we went back outside and started making scripts for the new Assassin's Creed. Mind you, this is 2021. And what she had already started writing on it. And I gave her tips on, what to do about the scenes and with writing it, not with creating it, because she can create it herself. Because I think her father was like not a graphic designer, but a something with technology. I'm not 100% sure. And end up that happened. Went back home, and I wasn't a fanatic of listening to lyrics. I'm getting hot in here. We're about to. I wasn't really a fanatic of listening to the lyrics. But I ended up having this thing of wanting it, right? And because of this, I said, why not just listen to somebody that I already was listening to? So I ended up like, who better to listen to lyric wise than Onika Tanya, right? So I ended up uh to what was that song called? It was two songs. It was Looking Ass Niggas and then it was Barbie Dreams. And I started reciting and listening to that fully and um remembering the lyrics and doing all of the things. This is about December 20 something. It's before Christmas. And I said, well, I'm very biased. Like I'm a very biased person. So I was trying to become unbiased, right? And I was like, I might as well listen to some male rappers because honestly, it seems to me I decided to so I decided to listen to this man. Now, when I listened to him, I was like, now usually I don't even say his name because it's like it's haunting. I guess it's still a horrific experience. Or horrendous, whichever one. I don't know which one I want to use. Um, and I started listening to Lil Durk. Now, when I started listening to him, I um I didn't know I didn't know where to start because when I first started looking at his music, he had a very extensive catalog, and I was like, "This is the perfect motherfucker I want to listen to," because quite honestly, I am like with my music, I like my 4747 as I say this. I like my music to be like my TV shows. I like it to be series where it's multiple seasons, it's not just one season. So it's something that I'm looking for. So that's what he showed me. He showed me multiple albums, multiple things, right? And at the time, it was just, mind you, it was just the shootout that just happened at his crib. His brother, I think, had just passed. So I was quite frankly just interested in listening to what he was talking about because he seemed like the type of person that cared about his craft. That's what I would say. Because it wasn't my first time running across this person because I think I ran across him and I didn't want to listen to that song and I went to his discography. And I got messed. It's okay, I'm fine with it. Um and I um ended up I decided to listen to his music. I don't remember what song I started listening to, but I know it was a thing of Who Wants Smoke, Back in Blood. That was like a thing in 2021. And he was going viral on TikTok as well. So I was at a place of like, okay, interested. And what ended up occurring was I started listening to more and more of his music. Now, school has now commenced because it's January. It's January now because this was December, Christmas done passed, New Year's done passed, New Year. That's all that really happened. Like, I'm thinking. Ooh, but I was still listening. Really, I was more so listening to Nikki because I liked her music. And looking back on it, I was very interested in the lyrics that she was saying. That's why a lot of times now, recently, people have been decoding what she was trying to say, and we can all, especially as Nikki fans, back on like, damn, she was right. Okay, so follow me. So I wasn't working. I went back to school. And February comes, I was like, I need to get my bread up. I need to get my money up. I need to do what I need to do. Right. And my sister just got put on to a job, and she put me on. It was Wendy's, and I ended up working there for only a month, but it was a lot going on in that time, and it was a fast food place. So when you work at a fast food place, you know that it's fast paced, and you know there's going to be constant drama, regardless if it's the customer or the people that you work with. Especially if you're a scheduler or doing payroll. I worked there for a minute, and my ex, or not even my ex, I don't know what I would consider him, like a potential person I was gonna take a relationship chance out with at a young age, came and started beefing me at my job. So that was the first sign of me like, okay, Jabrin, you need to get your shit together. You need to pop. So I'm still trying to get my shit together. And then I would say I ended up going through that on March the 1st or the 2nd of 2022. Right around, I would say 10 or 11 days later, I lie to you not. That was the first or the second, and it was probably both because I worked overnight on the windy shift because I was in school, so I had to go to school during the day and work at night. On the 23rd, I believe, of March 2022, I'm getting ready for work, and when I go get ready for work, I'm already mentally like deprived of, I guess, salvation. So I call on God. I'm mentally unstable. I'm going to classes because I'm working, and I don't have sanity at this point. So I call on God and ask, like, God, why you choose me? You know, you're not supposed to ask out all this and all this other things, but sometimes you gotta experience it for yourself, right? And my lace was lifting, so I said, "But you got to get your shit together. You got to work in like an hour or two. Get your shit together." So I got my elastic belt, laid down my 32-inch deep wave, and sat and said, "Bitch, get your shit together." Looked in that mirror, said, "Bitch, you want to get through this day, and you're going to do amazing." Said, "Girl, go to the motherfucking store." And I was saying this in the mirror: "Go to the store, do what you need to do, and come back." And mind you, I had a little small black cart to go to the store with, because why not? And I got ready. I remember the clothes that I had on. I threw them away after a couple months after this, before I left and came back to where I live at. Um, I had on a gray cotton Aeropostale blue rimmed or outlined coat. It was a jacket. Yeah, it was a jacket. It wasn't a hoodie. It was a jacket. And I had on my Crocs. I have a Duke pair now, um, that I bought from them. I got two. um, and some regular jeans that I used to work with when I was at Walmart. And I grabbed my purse with Steve Madden. I just threw that purse away, and I grabbed my cart and said, "Bitch!" And I forgot I couldn't find my lotion. Couldn't find my lotion, my champagne toast lotion from Bath and Body Works. And I opened my dresser that was under my bed, because if you know college life, you don't get a full dresser. You get a closet that's the size of your hand, and a dresser that's underneath. Well, for me, it was underneath my bed, and you get a desk, and then everything else you bring besides the mattress, unless you bring the mattress or a refrigerator. Um, and I said, "Girl, let's go." I found my lotion. I didn't put it on yet because I was rushing. Mind you, I had to work it, and I think I had ordered an Uber at the time. So, or I was waiting to order an Uber, and I ordered the Uber while I was walking. Um, and I put it whatever. Anyway, um, as I'm getting ready, y'all, if you know me, I love Nene. I love Nene. I'm not gonna tell you who that is because that's just anyway. I love Nene. So I was listening to Nene. She has very sound heal. She puts sound healing in her music. So I'm bumping her, walking, walking, walking. Then I randomly something random because by this time I'm into his music. By this time I'm listening to his music, and randomly a bunch of cars come by, and I mean a bunch because it's rush hour. It's about 6:30 something. Rush hours here, and everybody either coming from work or going to work. Um, and I'm a hood bitch. If y'all know me, I'm a hood bitch. So what I usually do is walk through the street. I don't walk on the paved sidewalk in the street for the pedestrians to walk on. I don't do that. That's just I've never done it. I've done it before, but it causes a lot more chaos because to me, you can get accidents more likely. Because what if somebody front a red light and you walking, right? Anyway, you'll probably see that shit if you walk in the middle of the street. That's what I was gonna do, and that's what I did. And a bunch of cars went by. Whoop, whoop, whoop. When they were gone, went on a divided meridian. And if you know where I stay, because I know is celebrities that are watching and are trying to fearmonger. So if you know where I stay and where work is, where that food line is, that's where I was. And I was waiting, and then a bunch of cars came going from my right to my left. And I was also intoxicated outside, allegedly. So I don't think I'm saying allegedly. And I was losing it, so I ended up like blacking out for a little bit. And I remember this because just started looking forward, waiting for everybody, all the cars to go by. And I don't know what I was thinking about. I was just ready to get through the traffic. And I randomly realized that no traffic was coming at one point. So I looked to my left and I looked to my right. And as I was about to step off, once I seen no more cars were coming, I took my left foot off of the divider meridian, and I heard an engine. I don't know how, but I just heard an engine. And I look to my right and I see a car speeding faster than a motherfucker. They randomly slow down. And then I started getting like paranoid because I'm a hood bitch. I just I don't know. It's just me. I don't know. And I started to notice they started driving real slow. And so my instincts was, bitch, this is like a movie, bitch. I'm about to this is a drive by. And mind you, I thought it was my um the person that I went to high school with that I realized wasn't for me. I thought it was him because mind you, he just came to my job. I thought it was him. And I had cussed him out on Instagram. So I thought it was him. Nigga, it's this nigga. And I see him, and I remember verbatim saying, "Why is this nigga driving so slow?" And I couldn't finish saying the word slow because enters a celebrity. another celebrity, different from the baby. And I was shocked because I was like, and the words of Deborah Cox, how did you get here? What the fuck is going on here? Where are you? Why are you by yourself? It was so many questions that were just roaming through my mind instantaneously or simultaneously, whichever one. And from that point on, I think I knew because if y'all just go and watch my other videos, 'cause like I said, this wasn't supposed to be like this. But if you go watch my other videos, it literally explains what happened in that instant. And I think right now, looking back, I realize that um the things that we see on a day-to-day basis, and that's really what this life is about. The things that we see or the things that we know somebody to be could be completely false because we have to remember we're outside looking in the club and we don't hate, but we have to observe. And that's what this channel is about because you don't know what somebody's going through until they tell you. You don't know what somebody's going through until you see it. You don't know what's happening until you either live it or know somebody that do live it or has lived it. And I think that really opened my mind to the different aspects of stereotypes amongst the United States, and the pressure that is presented to celebrities when trying to be a celebrity. And I think that that opened my eyes that celebrities are human, but they're not because they want to be perceived as human, but they're really honestly clones or reptilians. And then there's some that are, and it's a small demographic, that are actually human, but the clones outweigh the humans, the Homo sapiens in that specific realm, I guess you can say. Um, and it's very eye opening because this happened in 2022. It is now 2026. It's been 4 years. Seeing the different types of um, outspokenness that the rappers had in 2022, 2023, 2024, and then everything changed in 2025, 2026. Nobody speaking out about Carmelo Anthony. Nobody is really. I haven't heard any celebrity really celebrate the the justice for um Sanders, I think is her name, or Sandra something, Sandra something. Nobody has really spoken up about the boy who just died um with the Chinese man because he was stealing or something like that, or they thought he was stealing and it wasn't true. It's a lot going on. And I don't want it to be just about me because I realized that I tie into most of the world and I didn't know. Um, I realized that the system is just that a system is a game. So everything has a manual, I guess you can say. And I realized that over the course of the past few years, the dating scene has changed. The entertainment business has changed. The working 9 to 5 has changed. Scientists, the sun, the moon, all of this shit has changed. They're now controlling the weather. They've been doing that, but it's not more. It's now more relevant and apparent now because you can see storms happening. You can see it getting really extremely hot and above average temperatures, or based off of data. It's a lot going on, and people, the Epstein list alone put this country in a hole that it can't dig itself out of because it was already in a hole with finances. And then y'all implement bankrupt president, felon into office. After I have done multiple readings, and I knew it didn't get far intentionally because people suppressed my videos intentionally. They still are doing it. Um, it's very interesting to me because I think a lot of people have just ignored the things that have been transpiring because it's everyday life and people have to do everyday things and nobody knows what to do, quite honestly. um I think it's not time for an uprising, but I do believe it's time not for a change because we've been asking for that for the past 6 years. And I think the ancestors, the current black elders, we're tired. We're tired. And it's over exhaustion. Because we have extended the olive branch many times, numerous times. And you realize now that they kill certain black people to create not war, but to create a ripple effect in the black community. They want emotions. They want anger. They want frustration. But that does not mean to sit back and do nothing. Now is the perfect time to go to assemblies. Now is the perfect time to see who's being elected into your local offices besides just the governor or a senate. Um, we have to come together, and I think that has to be very, very soon. 'Cause we can't expect change and it to be in the monument. Mind you, we got technology in the momentum of our predecessors like Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, Harriet, and not do what they did, which is bring the black communities together with unison. Because we, as the black collective, really who are rooted in Christianity. If you think about it, just like I seen on Blackish, were the ones who started the whole understanding in the more belief of Christianity and the faith. Because people were trying to worship the Bible, and black people started at in the 60s started to implementing the faith once, not even just once they understood, because it was already understood, and what's understood don't need to be explained. So I'm just, I don't know, there's a lot going on, and my phone is literally on 40 something, 44%, if I'm not 41%. And I think I've not used all of my resources or exhausted all of my resources, but I definitely feel a very huge, like, it's about to be a deep sigh of relief soon because they are now called not Caucasians. The United States government is now trying to say and blame Japanese people for the black collective, our black, the black race in America not getting their reparations. And they're still trying to push the agenda of hard work paying off when the people who are the representation of hard work are clones. So with that, I'm going to get off of here. Um, I can't really see because I don't have my glasses on. I need to really do the rest of my lashes. So I'm gonna go. Y'all have a blessed one. That is a food for thought, I guess. This is my story, this is my truth, and I will be back to explain more. Just be on the lookout. Thank you to all who have listened. Thank you to all who have subscribed. I love all of my people. It's just a lot going on. And yeah, that's about it. All right, make sure y'all be safe and have a good day at work. This is the last day, y'all. Push through.